Good morning. I hope you are good and safe at your home. Today in this e-class, we will study chapter number 9 of our English book Moments. The name of the chapter is The Accidental Tourist. It is written by Bill Bryson. Bill Bryson is an American British author of books on travel, the English language, science, and other non-fiction topics. Bryson was born in Des Moines, Iowa in 1951. His best-selling books include The Road to Little Dribbling, Notes from a Small Island, A Walk in the Woods, One Summer, and The Life and Times of Thunderbolt Kid. In a national poll, Notes from a Small Island was voted the book that best represents Britain. This story, The Accidental Tourist, is a humorous story where the writer talks of the incidences where he acts clumsy. He tries to behave in a sophisticated manner, but is unable to do so, and ends up spilling drinks, smearing his face with ink, and creating a mess on the dining table. Now it is the explanation time. I am not reading the chapter, only explaining you paragraph wise. This story starts with the introduction of the author, when he says that he is not good at doing many works at one time. He is amazed. He is surprised to see people who are multitasking and do number of works without facing any difficulty. Many times he gets confused when he searches for the toilet in a cinema and lands up in a lane from where he cannot enter the hall again. When he checks in a hotel, he forgets his room number and goes to the reception many times just to confirm it. So he called himself a confused man. The writer is recalling the last time when he went on a family trip to England at Easter time. They reached the Logan airport in Boston. He had recently subscribed to the frequent flyer program of the British Airways and had to get the card punched to avail the points. The card was in the bag that hung around his neck. As he had to take the card out, something happened. The bag's zip would not open and he pulled it with force. Suddenly, the bag opened with a jerk, and as he had used a lot of force, all the articles flew out of the bag and were strewn across the floor. They were thrown over a large area as big as the size of a tennis court. He was shocked to see all his important documents fly out of the bag. The coins rolled on the floor, the lid of the tobacco box came off, and the box rolled on the floor and the tobacco spilled on the floor. Because tobacco is an expensive article, so when he saw that all the tobacco spilled over the floor, he screamed that his tobacco was getting ruined. The next moment, he saw that he had a cut on his finger and it was bleeding. Now, earlier he was screaming about tobacco. His scream changed to my finger. He again got confused and panicked. His wife looked at him, wondering at his strange behavior. She said that his weird behavior was unbelievable. The author always commits disasters while traveling. Once on a flight, he leaned forward to tie his shoelace, when the person on the seat ahead of him put it in full recline, thus banging the author's head with the back of his seat. He had to grab the leg of the passenger sitting next to him to come out of the fix. On another trip, he threw a drink on the lady sitting next to him. The flight attendant helped her clean up and got him another drink. He threw the second glass on her too. He was confused how it happened. He remembered that he watched helplessly as his arm acted just like prop used in old horror movies. Just like they moved unimaginably His arms reached for the glass and swept it off without him instructing it to do so. The co-passenger was shocked at his behavior. The lady looked at him with astonished expressions that why he was repeating those stupid acts. She cursed him. He had worse experience than these now. The worst one was when on a flight he was making a to-do list and was sucking the end of his pen while thinking and also talking to a woman seated beside him. After 20 minutes, when he went to the toilet, he saw that the ink had leaked from his pen and his mouth, teeth, gums and chin were blue in color. They would remain stained for a couple of days. He wants to be sophisticated. He wants to leave the dining table neat and clean and not make it appear untidy like he always does. He wants when he sits in the car, he should not leave the sleeves of his coat stuck in the door. He should not stain his light-colored trousers with things like gum, ice cream, cough syrup and motor oil. But he is unable to be like that. He always tries to do good. He always tries to be sophisticated. But unfortunately, he fails to do so. Now, when they were served meals on air trip, his wife asked the children to cover their heads with a hood to save themselves from the mess that he will create while eating. When he travels alone, he does not eat, drink or bend to tie his shoelaces. He does not even get the pen near his mouth. He sits quietly and keeps his hands under him to prevent them from moving here and there. He does not enjoy sitting like that, but it helps him by saving the laundry expenditure. It helps him in avoiding stupid acts that he always do while traveling. He never gets the frequent flyer miles because he is unable to find his card. All his acquaintances fly to Bali with these points, but although he has flown in 23 airlines, he has managed only 212 air miles. Either he forgets to ask for the air miles at check-in, or the manager does not record them, or he is told that he is not entitled to any points. He travelled to Australia in January and could have earned a lot of points for it, but the clerk refused to give him the points. He asked what was the reason. She reasoned that the card and the air ticket had different names on them. The writer tried to explain that both were one person, but she did not accept his argument. He did not get the air miles and would not travel to Bali free of cost. He takes it positively and feels good because he would not have been able to remain without eating on such a long flight. This was the explanation part of this chapter, The Accidental Tourist. I hope you have